police have body cameras. People in the streets record the police brutalizing and killing. Right there's all of these devices that we have that are capturing these events. So why is it that since we're capturing these, they haven't resulted in more arrests or more convictions?
I want to add on to that about like how aggressive cops can get too. I personally have experienced it. I work at a gas station in between times of school, and I went to the bathroom. This guy had overdosed in the bathroom, so I immediately called the police, or I called 911, I should say, and the police and the ambulance came. And I was sitting in the back of my job because I don't know what's going on. I'm kind of scared at the moment. I just saw a guy overdose in the bathroom. He could have died if I didn't notice him. And I hear the guy waking up by also hearing the police yell at him and cursing at him. And all I hear is them like probably punching him in the face and just cursing. And I'm scared. I'm like, what is going on right now? Why is this escalating so fast? Later that night, because I had to go back into work, the police officer told me that they broke his nose. And I was kind of like, why did it escalate that fast? It shouldn't have escalated that fast for a guy who overdosed and just had woken up. But I didn't experience it personally. Like I said, I was in the back. I just heard it. So, it's just like situations like this. Like, why did you have to go to that point to stop a guy who is very confused in the moment and just trying to figure out what's going on. Why is there a bunch of police around him? Why is there a bunch of ambulance around him? And you go to the point of breaking his nose.
Yeah, and I think that we have to also acknowledge, you can't expect a system that was built to protect specifically white people's property in America to do anything positive for people of color, specifically the Black community. If you get into the history of the police department, police did not exist in America until slaves were freed. And even in that initial first sense, the first iteration of police in America was slave catchers. And then it grew into this force of people to protect white property, right? So it's not even a question of why haven't there been more arrests and convictions? Because it's a system. It's a system that was never meant to benefit people of color, specifically Black people. So right now what we're seeing is a lot of people being like, no, it's not enough to have the body cameras. They're not doing anything. It's not enough to just catch it on camera. It's not doing anything. How long did it take to get Derek Chauvin arrested, let alone get a second-degree murder charge? Like at first it was third degree, it claimed to be an accident. How is it an accident when you have this man telling you he cannot breathe? So I think that right now what we're seeing is it's specifically the effort to dismantle a racist system that it was never meant to protect brown people in this country. And so that kind of leads us into 50A and abolishing 50A. This would raise accountability because it protects, 50A is a bill that protects police officers and correction officers' records from being released to the public. It's something that I personally deal with. A lot of my friends personally deal with because we work in documentary film. And it's something producers are just constantly having to fight tooth and nail to get these records. And so it's got to go, because if you have that out in the open, if someone is unconvicted, they can't just go to a different precinct and get hired. You have the public that's going to be right there. Thank God for Twitter and all of this. Also, like, you have the whole Twitter community is just ready and right there to be like, you're not hiring this person ever again. If a nurse screws up at work, they lose their license to practice, period. They are no longer allowed to be a nurse. It should be the same accountability, because this group of people is here to protect civilians. And so that's when you get into who is it your job to protect and who is it your job to serve. Because if you're not talking about all Americans, specifically brown people and Black people in this country, that defeats the whole purpose.
I think the idea that we even have to say we need cameras for people to do their job correctly is a whole nother conversation. But yeah, I mean, like you said, the system itself was built on, not protecting people who look like us. So yeah, we're not going to see accountability, but
Yeah.
This is why we continue to fight that fight, because at the end of the day, there needs to be accountability. And people like to bring up Black on Black crime, whatever that means. It's like, yeah, this crime of, of what's the word I'm looking for? But anyway,
Black on black, yeah, black on black crime can't exist. Do you like white on white crime doesn't exist? How does black on black crime exist? Crime is
right,
crime.
exactly. And it's like,
Yeah.
people are held accountable for that. At the end of the day, if someone commits a crime, you're held accountable. It's not happening in these other instances with police officers.
There was a bill pushed, I believe in Nashville recently, to get all of the Metro Nashville PD to wear body cameras because they don't all wear them right now. And I think it got passed. I think they're all going to start wearing them. I think there's one district that's going to have them by the end of the summer was the call, and the rest will have them by the end of February 2021. But it has been one of the most protested bills that I've been aware of over the past couple months, because people are saying, well, not people, but the police and the people in favor of not having cameras are saying that, what, you don't trust me to do my job? And in my head, I think, no, I don't. I really don't, because look at the world. And even good cops need to wear body cameras, because I think we can all say that we've seen when a video comes out, the first thing we see is, well, what happened before the video? It's because we're watching a cell phone video and it takes so long to pull out a cell phone and turn on your camera. If we had a body camera that was on all the time, we wouldn't have to worry about what happened before. We'd be able to see them in the car. We'd be able to see the dash cam that picked the car or picked the person. And we'd be able to see them getting out of the car, the actions happening, and getting back into the car. Because you should be able to turn those on and off. I did a little research, and in Chicago currently, I don't know if it's being upheld, but in Chicago currently it's a felony for a cop to turn off their body camera. I think that should be a thing in all states. I think if you turn off your camera, what are you hiding? If you're on the clock trying to serve the country, serve all people of all races, why do you need to turn your camera off? What are you trying to prevent people from seeing? And how long does it take us to get this body camera footage? We didn't know about Breonna until so much later. And that's because there was no cell phone footage in her home. We didn't know about it. And that's why I think people are more likely to pull out their cell phone, is because you can tweet instantly. You can put things on Facebook instantly, and we can trust that. And we don't always need to see what happened before or what happened after. We're watching a person die. Like, we shouldn't have to be watching that. And I think just they should all be wearing body cameras, and they shouldn't be able to be turning them off.
There's a great movement right now. It's called 8 Can't Wait. And it's 8 different things that cities, counties, whatever the like, can put into place right now. I've seen a lot of criticism for it, which I definitely understand. Right now, I think it's important to mention, because it is, yes, it's a temporary fix, but it's a temporary fix that could save lives right now as we're working on the bigger ones. So if you can go to the 8 Can't Wait website, you can plug in your city. And if your city's not included, you can contact them and they will add it. And you can see how many of those 8 different policies are in place. And if they are not all in place, they will give you the contact information of your sheriff and your mayor, and you can start sending emails and start signing petitions to put it in place. The goal for the 8 Can't Wait campaign is to get it all in place as quickly as possible across the entire country, so that at least there's some semblance of it, because the study of it has shown that it could reduce police brutality and violence by 70%. So it's a temporary fix right now, but that's a temporary fix I think that we need in order to keep working towards that big change in a way that will not cause us to sacrifice and lose Black lives in the process, and as we're working towards that big change.